Good afternoon everyone, I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining the studio today. It's lovely to see you all having a conversation amongst yourselves. I do hope you're all well. The weather is lovely today-ish. It's raining a little bit, isn't it? So, hi Joe, Wendy, Tracy, Pauline, Joan. Oh, I'm seeing a few new names here. Sue, Jan, Karen, Michaela, Jackie, Enid, Linda, lots of you, Pat Pepper. Welcome everyone. Hi Shirley, Viv. So lots of lovely things to do today. What I'm trying to do in studio is I'm trying to get lots of videos together for those fabulous QR codes. So you have the inspiration there all the time. As you know, being on telly as frequent as I have been, we've lost a little bit of momentum with our QR code. So I'm trying to, get it back and get it back strong. So you've all got that lovely inspiration when you scan those codes. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Toni and I'm a guest presenter on Create and Craft TV, the best channel ever. And that is where I go and demonstrate all of the lovely products that you can utilise at home and inspire one another. That's it. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button, and the little HD button gives you a better viewing experience. And we do ask that if after the show you have enjoyed the show or want to tell me anything or want to ask me any questions, pop a comment underneath the live studio on YouTube and I will answer any of your questions. So I've got a question already. Are all the codes the same items or for each item you have? Now they're all different QR codes, Anne, so you should get a different video every time you scan the QR code. Also, as well, if you are waiting for some inspiration to drop onto those QR codes, another way that you can get videos is if you go to the products on the website and click in that product. If there is a video available for that product, it will be attached in the product. So say for instance, you wanted to have a look at this stone doorway, which I'm going to use today. If you click in that product on the website, if there is a video, it will be attached to this product, which after today we will have a video for it. Okay, so I hope that helps. So I'm not on TV for a little while now, a nice little break, which is fabulous, giving me the chance to catch up on all of the designs I've been working on and other designs with other people and helping people out and basically just having a bit of me time, which has been really, really nice. Sometimes when I take my foot off the gas a little bit, I become poorly. So it's crazy really, isn't it? I become a little bit unstitched. So, but I am absolutely enjoying it, and I've had 2 fabulous days where I've been really, really creative, and we've got lots of new designs, which I'm getting really excited about already. So let's craft. Have I got anything else to tell you about? Nope, I think we're good to go. So have you got your cup of tea or your cup of coffee? It is really, really lovely to see you all, it really is. So I'm going to be using in today's studio Simply Gorgeous from our new collection. And I'm also going to be using the door from our Soulful collection too. I was on telly with this one last week, so you will have had lots of inspiration, but the inspiration does continue in studio as normal. So we're going to use the lovely doorway and the flower on this one, and the lovely doorway and the lovely solid stamps on there to give you that lovely watercoloured finished image. So I hope you're enjoying Soulful, and I hope the continued inspiration in studio is encouraging you more to just keep going with them, because I have had a few messages saying not quite there yet, I'm loving it but I'm not quite there yet. Just stick with it because it will come, I promise. So let's grab our Eureka. So in today's studio with this lovely collage stamp, if you do like any of our products, all you need to do is pop FBL into the search engine on our website, and that takes you to all the products I'm using in studio, new products, earlier products, things like that. But as always, if you do not have the products, we understand people cannot afford them all. You may have something in your stash that will work equally as beautiful. So today for this one, rather than let's do like heat emboss or colouring, things like that, we're going to use some pattern papers with them. So in the past we launched this lovely set, and this is one of mine. There's not many pages left in it. I'm starting to have a bit of anxiety because there's not many left now. So I'm going to use this paper pad today. It's all about you, and it's the orange and reds and green tones and the brown autumnal colours on there. So this is the one I'm going to use in studio today. A lot of you will have this one. If you haven't, get those papers out that you've been collecting and never cutting into, and get them used. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I've taken one of the sheets from the paper set and I'm just going to stamp onto it. I'm going to use it as a background, and I'm going to do it in a brown. So this is walnut stain, this is a distress ink. I hope it's not actually dried up, it is really old. I'm going to do it in this distress ink walnut stain today, because I'm going to try and get like tone on tone, but a very muted card, if that makes sense. I'm sure it'll come to fruition in a minute. So let's just get the stamp set from here. So first of all, I'm going to stamp the flower on this large piece. So I'm going to try and get the script in my flower. So let's stamp this one out. Hey Patricia, don't worry about it. We are launching designs all of the time now, and you're never going to be able to get them all, sweetheart. You're not. So, you know, don't be beat up about it. There'll be another collection next week where you may be able to treat yourself. So don't beat yourself up about it. So let's stamp. I'm just going to focus on the floral element of this stamp set here. And then we have the lovely coordinating die, which is going to take it out of the page. And hopefully we will get a little bit of that script coming through in that detail. Oh, very pretty. Very, very pretty. I'm just going to make sure I do get the flower, the whole of the flower. So I need all of the leaves. And sometimes just stamping in a different colour really looks pretty as well, doesn't it? Instead of your traditional black, swap it out for a grey or a sepia tone. There we go, look how cool that one looks. So what I'm going to do is, albeit I'm not working on watercolour card, I am just going to take a little bit of water and drag that colour out if it allows me to. It doesn't always work, but I am going to try. So I'm just wetting my brush here. I'm just going to see, there we go, it is allowing. So I'm just going to drag some of that colour out and make it a little bit more of a vintage tone. So the only reason I'm able to do this is because I've used the distress inks, and they are water based. You could use Generation inks if you wanted to. Use what you've got in your stash. And if you are doing this onto just normal cardstock or paper, this is obviously paper out of my paper stash, don't use lots of water. So you can see the difference already, how we've got this tone of brown in the leaves here, and this one above here is a lot lighter. Can we see that there? So it just shows that just adding that little bit of water can give you a totally different feel. Again, just don't saturate the paper, because you'll start to get lumps and bumps and it won't look very nice on the eye. So all I'm doing is filling in those leaves, getting a nice tone. Could actually drop a little bit of pink or yellow or orange in there too if you really wanted to. Just have fun with it, can't we? So there we go. So we've got a beautiful, it actually nearly matches my paper there, doesn't it? Paintbrushes are in stock as far as I'm aware, are they not? I will have a look when I leave studio. If for those of you that did want the iMala board, the mixed media board, and there was a few other bits and pieces, I did load what we had on yesterday on Friday after. No, on Monday after live show. So if you were waiting for those, they have been loaded back on for you, and I will check that for you, no problem. So let's set this aside, let it dry itself, and then what I have here is another piece of the patterned paper, and this is going to be the focal point on my card. And what I've done is I've focused on this nice pretty detail at the bottom here. So I'm just going to hold that in place. I'm going to take the flower off, and I'm going to use the other stamp in the same set, which has the lovely arch on there, the doorway. I'm just going to place it up here in this corner, look. And we're going to put some detail on this pretty patterned paper. So you might have seen a sample when we were on TV of this, something similar to this one. I'm not sure which DT member did it, unfortunately, but using these papers. and it looked really beautiful. I think it was about 7x7 card. So I like my traditional 5x7 top folding, but it does work across the board. So let's ink this one up then. That looks like it was meant to be. It looks as part of the design, doesn't it? I am going to go in twice and add that extra ink because I'm going to try and drag it out, and I'm going to try and extend the design and make it look like it's part of the paper, if it allows me to, that is. So if you've got like pink tone pads and purple tone pads, stamp them out in a very similar colour and you'll get it's just tone on tone. So if you have a pink wash with maybe some flowers in, because I know some of you bought the other paper collections, use the same tone and then drag it out and you'll get the very, very similar looks. There we go. So again, with the brush, I'm just going to pull out some of that detail. So let's do the door. And if you want to add more detail, just take your ink pad to a glass mat or something and pick some more colour up. And darken it in areas if you want to. So I'm just going to get some colour in first. So I have like a path going on here. So I'm going to extend the design by dragging it straight to the end. Let's pop some on the step here. And there's a few bricks up here. Can you see those few bricks up there? So I'm going to just pop some water on those and drag those out too. And then let's actually pop some colour on my mat. So I have a little stamping block here. Just pop some colour on there and add just a little bit of water. So now I can go in and maybe intensify some of that. Don't want it to be too dark. It's going to be too dark. I've got a tissue. Go in and just add that little bit more detail around, just to make it pop a little bit. So our arch maybe mucky pupper. Hand straight in the paint. Hand straight in the paint. Let's pop a darker colour on the step here. Let's add some water to this element of it here, look. And let's push that colour out. Got some pebbles, so let's pop in the pebbles. And then with this like flower element of it here, I'm just going to pounce my brush on its side, just activate it in areas just so it's a suggestion. And then on this part here. And then to tie it all together, just move this out of the way, to tie it all together, this beautiful image here, I'm going to make it look like it was part of this design. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up some of this lovely colour and I'm just going to add an accent to the actual image itself. So I'm bringing the two colours together. So I'm going to make this look like it was part of that. Can you see how we're sort of like bringing the two together? You know, don't be scared to get that colour on. It always dries 2 shades lighter. So the sort of design is already laid out for me. So all I've got to do really is enhance it and bring it together. So the ink pad colour I'm using is the Distress ink and it's the Walnut Stain. So do we think it's sort of like brought it together a little bit there, where the design doesn't look so like forced? We've actually brought them together a little bit better than it just being floating. So I'm just going to tie it all together, and the way I'm going to do that is just pick up some of that ink, add those splats, so sort of connecting this sort of collage distress into the backing paper here. So just keep splash, splash, splash. And then if you want some bigger splats, then you obviously add the more water. There we go, so it's sort of tied it together. So let's just dry this one off. You just have to be very careful that you don't oversaturate. But as you can see, it's drying now. Look how much lighter it's dried back, and you saw me put the colour on all of that, and it's literally dried back to nothing, hasn't it? So, you know, do have the courage to just get that colour on. And again, it's a piece of card. If it doesn't work, it is not the end of the world. So let's leave that as is. So the idea was, and still is, I'm not sure how it's going to work. Just move this over, just pop this back on my carrier sheet as is this one. So I'll grab the die for our lovely floral arrangement, the one that we coloured first, which is this lovely one. And we're just going to die cut this one out. Now whether we use it or not is another matter, but I'm going to still go ahead and do it, because I'm not sure where my card's going as of yet. So I'll just move my coffee and just grab my plates. And you get the 1mm border as always, so, and again, it should line up beautifully. So we'll take this out of the design here, and we have got that lovely script in the background, but it is very, very faint. So it's a little bit of detail, but it's not overwhelming. So just run that one through. And then when we take it out, we have our beautiful embellishment. Now, careful with the tape. There we go. Let's see that there. So we have a beautiful, like, sepia embellishment, brown stain, walnut stain style. So let's just get rid of this. And then just set that aside. So you can see already, if you didn't have pattern paper, you can create something quite beautiful, look. So, I mean, that looks quite pretty with the embellishment coming out, or we could do it as if it's creeping round the door, push it over a little bit. It is personal preference. What I am going to do though is I'm just going to quickly grab my large, lovely stamp set. Here, this one, and I'm going to put the card together first without this embellishment, and then I'm going to decide on a sentiment. So stick with your card, guys, right to the very end, because sometimes looking at it like that, it's like, well, how boring. But as soon as you start to get those matte and layers on, and you soon get your embellishments on, it sort of pops. So let's just grab some glue here. I'll just pop this into the centre of this card. So I've matte and layered it onto black to give it that instant lift. So you can see already how different it looks with the black matte and layer. Just get rid of that piece of glue popping out of there. Just give it a second to grab. It's a very pretty door, isn't it? It is very pretty. Great for a wedding card too, hey? So let's stick this one onto our card blank and then we'll go from there. Straight on there. Now don't forget about if you like a bit of sparkle in your cards. Yes, it's a sepia card. There is no harm in you taking your sparkle pens to your flowers, you know. So already we've got quite a pretty card. If it was straight, let's just straighten her up a little bit. There we go. I swear, I don't drink, I promise you. And then our lovely embellishment. But before I commit to anything, I'm going to pick an appropriate stamp. So I think Love and Hope make beautiful people. One of my all-time favourites. And I'm not going to stamp it in brown because it'll just all blend into one another. What I am going to do first of all is I'm going to stamp it in grey. Grey works with every colour. So if you're a little bit stuck on what to do, stamp in grey first. Guess what? If you're using Eureka, if you do it in grey and you don't like it, we'll go over it with black, okay? Because there's lots of detail in there, and it will, because of the black matte and layer, it will carry a black sentiment. Don't be off put by it. But just to test the water, I'm going to do it in grey first and see how it looks. And then if we don't like it, I'll go over it in the black. So I'm going to pop this in here, and I have an idea of where I'm popping this. I think I'm going to go over the door. I am going to 3D. Yeah, I'm going to go over the door because I think that's quite pretty. And the Love and Hope, which is really, really bold, I'm going to pop in this right-hand corner here. Just move this out of the way for now. So we'll try grey first. If it doesn't look right, we'll go black, hey? So let's go for it. What's the worst that can happen, hey? Yeah, if you've got the Soulful stamp, you could create this sort of look. I am going to use the Soulful door after this one. So let's go grey first. Let's just go over it one more time. I don't think it's going to pop like I need it to, so we may have to go black. We'll see. I think that's okay. I don't think we need to go black. I think that's okay. Do you? Quit while you're ahead. Hey, quit while you're ahead. So let's have that one. The word stamp is available, or was yesterday. I loaded it back on. Can you not find it? I'll have a look after show. Oh, Karen's telling me it's out of stock. I'll have a look when I did load it back on yesterday, and I honestly don't think we've got any more. So I'll have a look after show. So let's just move this out of the way. And I'm just going to grab some 3D foam pads or some 3D foam. Here we go. I'm just going to pop some foam behind this piece. I'm just going to pop one behind. And I think we'll just go just there so I don't lose the door. And then let's just add some sparkle. So I've got my Gossip clear sparkle pen here, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of sparkle to the flowers, nothing too much. Try not to go heavy with your pens, because less is more. So just a little bit of sparkle. And you have used a water-based ink pad, so just remember it will activate if you add anything to it, so just be careful. So I'm just going to put the sparkle on the flowers, not on anything else, because I just don't want the whole card to be sparkly, like so. And then what I'm going to do with my white gel pen is I'm just going to add some highlights to the door, to the brick. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just adding some little white highlights, step maybe to the wooden lines on the door. I don't think it needs it anywhere else. Maybe the little pebbles. Now you don't have to do this, but it does add just a little accent to your artwork. And I think we'll leave that as is. So stamping onto pattern paper, everybody. Just move this out of the way for you. So I hope you like that one. And it'll work with all of your pattern papers, guys, all the different tones you've got in your stash. If you've got papers from other brands, dig them out, get them stamped onto in the very similar colours, and you can see how we sort of like tied it all together with the splats. We coloured the image that was already existent on the paper just to bring it together a little bit more. So if you've got a pink floral piece of paper, stamp things out in pinks and purples, tie them together. It's really, really achievable. So I hope you're going to give that one a go. So let's just show you the lovely door from the Soulful collection. Set that one aside. So the Soulful collection is one of our latest projects, should we say, and it's the encouragement to get your watercolour in. I'll just grab my piece of watercolour card. So I'm using watercolour card here. I find I get the best results with the watercolour card. Unfortunately, it's out of stock. You've all bought it, and that is fine. So use what you've got in your stash. It will work on normal card, but you won't get the best results that you can achieve. So first of all, I'm just going to create a door with a pretty lavender archway or blossom archway, whatever you want to call it. So let's take the door. The great thing about this set, if you can see from here, is you get the lovely stone effect. So I can create stones and I can create my own sort of composition, trees in the background, you know, bricks. You can use the bricks on the edge of the card to create like a full brick wall, which is incredible really. It's really, really cool. So let's just go and do this pretty door. So I'm just going to grab an acrylic block, and the acrylic blocks are better because you can do the repeat stamping and things like that. So I'm going to pop my stamp face down on my mat, and then I'm just going to pick it up because then I know it's flat on my block there. Oh, it's not even in the middle. So place it back down and then make sure the whole stamp is on the block. There we go. So I have my pretty door on the block there. Hi Avril, I'm so pleased you've managed to join us. So let's just, so what I'm going to do is, because I've got this on my table, I'm going to use it. So we're going to use the walnut stain distress ink again. However, you can use your pens straight to the stamp. You've seen me do that numerous times before. But let's just go with this one for a change, just to chop it up a little bit. And all of the products that I do use live in show, you probably have already got. So let's stamp this pretty door. Now I'm just going to go in the middle because I'm just going to show you how easy it is to get the composition on these lovely, lovely Soulful stamps. So the other day we did the basket. So there we have our lovely door. Very, very pretty. So just pop the door back on my carrier sheet. And what we're going to do first of all is we are going to make this look like a watercoloured image. So just bring in my water here, look, mucky water at that. And then I'm just going to take a lot of the water out of my brush. I just drag it out with my hand, and then I'm just going to take the brush down the door just to give it the sort of wood grain effect on there. So I'm not dragging it all out. I like to leave white spaces. So I'm just going to go over with a slightly damp brush and just drag some of that colour out, just to create a little bit of dimension so it doesn't look flat and it actually looks like we've actually watercoloured it. And then we'll do the same with the little step. So my brush is practically dry. It's not overloaded with water. It's just catching that water-based ink and it's just dragging it out beautifully. So there we have our lovely, lovely door. So on the stamp set we have the bricks. So let's grab some bricks and let's put some bricks in some of the areas. So let's just grab a smaller block. And I'm just going to use the brown again. Now you can use a grey tone for your bricks, things like that if you want to. So let's put some little bricks around our door. You see that there? And there are a variation of bricks, and there are also some like individual bricks where you get 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. So let's just drag this out with a little wet brush. So a little bit of water onto that brush and just drag out that colour. Remember, my brush is not saturated. We don't want a puddle. So you can see now how those bricks have come together. So let's have some fun with creating like an archway of colour. So as you can see, you get the like little grass shrubberies for around the doors. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's not talk about it, let's do it. So let's just pop this grass shrubbery on here and let's just grab a nice green watercolour pen. So you can use your ink pads if you want to. And let's pop some green, as if the door hasn't been shut for a while. So we pop some green, you know, like it's been propped open with a stone or something. And there is a stone in there for you to stamp here, so it looks like the door's been propped open. Can you see there? So that's the grass part. And whilst it's still a little bit damp, I take my brush, take out the excess water, and I just pounce into that colour. Now I'm not trying to get rid of the design, I'm just softening a few of those lines. There we go, so we have some greenery around our door. So also on the set, let's have a look. It's so exciting because you just never know what to do. Let's go with this one. So this is like, it's got a couple of flower heads on there. So let's get a pretty pink colour. And what we'll do is we might do some pink coming over this way, shall we, for a change? So pen on the side. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of tap lightly. And I'm just like first, second, third generation, trying to get those shapes into that design there. So let's do a few more. And we'll pop. And then we'll swap this one out. Again, I'm just going to get my brush, soften those little details. And there's one that looks a little bit like wisteria, which is really, really pretty. So it looks like it's coming from behind the door on this occasion. And then let's put some greenery in there too. I could spend hours and hours and hours on Soulful. And I know that's why I called it Soulful, because I understand that once you get going on these, building your composition and just enjoying yourself, you're going to have so much fun. So a little bit of green in here too. You see now, just adding that little bit of green is bringing it all together. Excuse the fingerprints from me there. And then again, we'll just soften those lines. I'm going to bring the green right down. I'm going to connect it with that grass and then up here. And then there are some like solid flowers, some solid ones, so you can get like a true, let's use one of the solid ones too, just to get a bit more clarity and detail on there. And let's use a different colour. Let's go with a little bit of purple. There we go, so you get a lovely purple flower in there too. Actually this is leaves, but it really doesn't matter. And we'll shall we pop a little bit of purple in this grass, make it look a bit lavendery. So really now, I mean, you can keep going and keep going, of course you can. So I'm just going to get my brush, take out the colour, and all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to drag out some of this green and make it into more of a picture rather than just a floating door. And I'm just going to get some green onto one of my acrylic blocks, and this is where I'm just going to start painting my scene really. So once you're happy with your composition and you've got all your lovely flowers in place, or maybe you want to add some more, then you can start to bring in the green, because you would never know that this is a stamp, remember. So get your pens, really extend that design, be as creative as you like really. And then a little bit of blue around up in there. And then in here you could replicate the tree. There is a tree, so you can do trees in the distance. There is also this very small sprig at the top here, which you could stamp as if it's on the inside of the door too. Let's do it. Let's not talk about it, let's do it, hey? So let's just swap this one out for this one. I'm going to do this in, let's do it in the brown. Just tapping it on my ink pad there. I'm just going to, let's think about where do we want it to look. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ink off that stem, because I don't want that to go onto my artwork. And I'm just going to, so there we go, we've got some nice lovely trees in through the door. And again, use your little brush, just soften those details very delicately. And you can add more embellishments, you can add more pebbles inside the door as if there is a pathway through there. Just grab this. This is the brown from earlier. If it's not too dark, no, that's fine. Add some brown around. You know, just have fun with it. Get that paintbrush. Can we see how quickly you can just add the colour? Don't be scared of it. Pop that colour down, drag it out with a wet brush, wet-ish brush. Excuse my mucky green fingerprint there. And mount it onto a lovely card like we did yesterday. Let's just get rid of that harsh line there. Make beautiful sympathy cards, friendship cards, you know, uplifting cards. I'm going to stop there. So you can see where that one is going. So another one from the Soulful collection. We will continue to visit Soulful because I really do think you're going to have lots of fun with them, and I really, really do not want them to be sat on your table at home whilst everybody else is playing. You can tell I'm having fun, can't you? There we go. So I'm just going to tidy the station. Let's just show you both cards. So you can try them both if you want to. If you're thinking this one's a little bit too much for you at this moment in time, then that's absolutely fine. But you as a crafter, you will grow, and your courage will grow too. Let's just put everything away, and then I know where I'm at. Pop them all back on, and in each set there are no replications with the solid portion, so what's in here will work in your watering can and in your hanging basket and things like that. And the girls are already working on new designs for me. I've given them the basis of what I want, and we've been sat down together saying, will this work, will that work? So we're already on to the next phase, which is going to work equally as well with all of these. So these are not redundant. The ones you've bought are going to work with what we're currently working on as well, which is really, really lovely. So let's just stand both cards up here. So that's the one on stamping onto pattern paper, and this is the one which is like a project which we've started and could easily work on and make bigger and better and sign it off and put it in a frame. This would look beautiful in a frame. Once you've finished it, pop it in a frame, sign it in the bottom corner with a fine liner pen. You would never know that that's a stamp. Don't doubt yourself, Joe. You've got to push those boundaries. Don't doubt yourself, sweetheart. That's it. Hope you've enjoyed today's show. I'm back with you on Friday. Claire's not with you tomorrow, unfortunately, because she's on holiday, and I think we've used all of her pre-records, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm back with you on Friday at 3 o'clock, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. We'll see. So whatever you're doing, have a lovely afternoon. Don't forget to pop a comment under the live video over on YouTube, and I will catch you all on Friday. Have a lovely evening, guys. Stay safe and cozy if it's blustery, and I will see you all later. Take care, everyone. See you later. Bye.